I feel like every other day I'm debating people on how good Andor was. And there's this one YouTuber consistently trashing Andor just because he didn't like it. I'm talking about YouTuber Star Wars Theory. Now, of course,
Hmm.
I'm not going to bash on Mr. Theory. I'm not going to even do anything like that. But he did a tier list recently, and I think he put Andor on C tier. And I'm like,
Wow.
yo, my man, C tier. And it gave me like, the idea, like maybe we should do our own tier lists. This is
Okay.
on tiermaker.com. They have like a pre-made one. Would you like to go first on your where you would rank these? Because
Okay.
there's some shows here you haven't seen.
Yeah, I mean, going through. Okay, there's these animated ones. I haven't seen Star Wars Rogues.
You can skip those,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, Tales of the Jedi. The first, I guess, it goes alphabetically. So Andor. It's tough to go like we're starting with Andor. Andor. I'm putting it S tier. Like
Hmm.
that. It's just incredible. I can't believe it was made. Can't believe it was created.
I
It's just
believe
so
that
well.
one right there is season 2 of Mandalorian, the one you're on right
Yeah.
now.
So Andor is it's beautifully acted, it's beautifully directed, it's a great story, it's so surprising. I cared about all of the characters. Some people would argue it's not Star Wars, which I could argue. Yeah, I could see that because it's not Star Wars. It doesn't have clunky dialogue. Like
That's the thing that always bothered me, and that's something that I think Theory threw in there. By
yeah,
the way, I don't know
it
if you want to
needs
go
to
into his
suck to
tweets.
be Star Wars. Like
I don't know if you want to go into his tweets, but he said how Star Wars is about the fight between the Jedi and the Sith, which no, George Lucas himself said it's a family story, and Andor actually it's a story about family and fighting tyranny, which Andor does like great every time.
yeah, it also explains
Like,
it explains how the rebellion works. I mean, in a
yeah,
very like logistical sense, very George R. R. Martin. Like, what's Aragorn's tax policy? Well, we fucking find out about the empire and the tax policy and how money works. So it's just so many cool little aspects to it. I mean, just the character arcs of Mon Mothma, like dealing with like having to sell out her daughter and stuff like that in order to get funding and all sorts, just
they
like every
they
little
they did
thing.
something. They did something George Lucas could never do: make politics interesting.
Oh my god, the politics was so like, oh, it was yeah, you could say the Game of Thrones of Star Wars. The politics were interesting. It was fascinating. The fact that like bureaucracy was like, and the fact that like our characters in the Empire are dealing with bureaucracy, and it was like incredible. It was like The Wire, like with their handling of
Mm.
bureaucracy, and so great. Andor, if you haven't seen it, you're just so missing out. Um,
You're really if you go to theories like tweets and shit, you're gonna get triggered because this is
yeah,
a guy who what you were saying before. It's like the cage of nostalgia. Like I get what he wants, but my man, my brother in Christ, we are never gonna go back to the late '70s, early '80s where movies were made different with
yeah.
people like who were in different phases in their life. It's just not gonna happen.
So let me jump ahead before we go to the other series. Let's jump ahead to the other S tier thing. I'm just gonna get S tier out of the way. Okay, so
Sure.
the original Star Wars is S tier. Okay, and the
Mhm.
original Star Wars is S tier because it is so revolutionary and great and well paced. It's like even taking. I mean, I know it's hard to separate from the nostalgia, but it is never a boring movie. It's just a fucking like
True.
such a well paced movie. All of the ideas are creative and interesting. There's just like Carrie Fisher is fucking fantastic. Like she's filled with so much energy. Harrison Ford is fucking incredible, sexy as hell. Mark Hamill's like naivety as farm boy is insane. Like, yes, there's some really weird dialogue in it. It's true, but just in the sense that it's just like you can watch it beginning to end, still the 200th time, and it never gets boring. And it's just incredible. Like, there's nothing like it. You can't take away from Star Wars, A New Hope, the first one, the fourth one, whatever you want to fucking call it. It's Star Wars. It's the Star Wars. That's the thing. That's the joke is like, you know how great the pill is? It's so great that it's the pill. Star Wars is fucking great in that it's the Star Wars. You
Yeah.
know? That's how fucking good Star Wars is. Now, next. Um, A tier is obviously as well the fucking Empire Strikes Back. Objectively, the best movie. Objectively, the truth is the best movie of them all. Incredible, incredible acting performances. Um, Tension. The fucking final battle between Luke and Vader. Great lines. We all know the fucking Han Solo I know line is improv, but it was fucking perfect. Such a great mood, able to take something like Star Wars and do something new and not recycled so much in the next installment is just incredible. And it's just, yeah, it's just S tier. It's love it. I'd say it's the best one, even though like in my heart I love um Star Wars the most. Like objectively, like if I'm going outside of myself, like come on, Empire Strikes Back is a better movie.
Mhm.
So next, Return of the Jedi.
Your favorite.
This is a D. Okay, what now?
Oh
Yeah, it's a D.
no,
It's a D.
D.
Yeah, what a yeah, crappy movie. People have too much nostalgia for it. The plot doesn't make any sense at all. Um, it is a recycled piece of shit. The plot is recycled and it doesn't make sense. It quickly tries to wrap up everything that was established in the first two movies and does it poorly. And I think everything with regards to like Jabba's palace and that story is just falls apart, makes no sense. We have too much off-screen character development. Luke is not Luke; he's something else. The feeling the good inside Vader comes out from fucking nowhere. Recycled jokes, burp and fart jokes all through it. A Tarzan yell. It's just fucking stupid. The whole thing is stupid. There's a few moments in it that I really quite like. I mean, I think that the music is great. I think for the most part, the lightsaber battle with Luke and Vader is well paced. I think Admiral Akbar is fucking incredible. Okay, I will grant all of that. Okay, I will grant that those are fucking great. But keep in mind, this is a movie filled with fucking Ewoks. Okay, and you're not gonna fucking like remove that. Like, you can't be like, no, it's still a great movie. No, it's not. The green screening is also shitty. It just feels cheap. Like you went out to the fucking redwood forest north of San Francisco and you turned a camera on and everything else was rushed. Han Solo doesn't act like Han Solo. Luke doesn't act like Luke. Leia doesn't act like Leia. The whole thing is shit. So fuck Return of the Jedi. D. Okay. Should we get back to the series? Okay. Man, this is Mandalorian season 1.
That's
This is season 2.
season two. Season two.
Is this one Mandalorian? Is the last one?
That's the
Well,
season one.
okay, season 1. Mandalorian season 1. Good atmosphere, a little slow. Um, but I'm gonna put it in B tier. Mandalorian. I think the stories are simple. They're juvenile. There's not too much to it, but at the same time, like it tells fairly solid stories. Maybe they're simple, but I don't know. It at least it holds together as a cohesive story. Um, and I don't know. I don't know if I with a heavy heart I'm putting it B. Maybe it should only be C. I don't know.
With a heavy heart.
Yeah. Mandalorian season 2 about the same continuation,
Hmm.
probably more interesting than Mandalorian season 1. It's probably, more going on. Um uh better moments with the return of Bill Burr and the some taking off helmets and shit. I mean, I guess the taking off the helmets that happens in both seasons. It's pretty good. Um, Peter Pascal does fine, but it's still to dialogue and things like that. I can't put it any higher than B. Um, but yeah, I enjoyed it. It was fine. Um, Mandalorian season 3. Let's put that as a C. It's just it's just messy. And there's, I don't know, not too much to it. A lot of jumps in motivation. The story falls apart, and we don't really have the tug at the heartstring moments that you had in seasons 1 and 2. How do you feel about Mandalorian's the season 1 to 3?
I mean, I'll get into it when I do
Okay,
my
you
tier
you want to do
list.
your list? Okay,
Well, you're gonna put it in for me.
okay. Well, okay, all
Mhm.
right. So Obi-Wan, let's put Obi-Wan at C. I don't think it was. Um, I think there were some strong performances here and there, but for the most part, it felt like a unneeded adventure, considering all of the potential it had. If you're really describing to me like what happens in it again, Obi-Wan has to like rescue Princess Leia, but
Yes.
we didn't really get into any sort of like deep dive into the Obi-Wan character. He doesn't have really any growth. Um, yeah, it's fun seeing all of these characters again, but they didn't really do anything with it. There's no struggle in the human heart. There's no human heart in conflict, which is I can at least say that with Mandalorian seasons 1 and 2. We've got this relationship between him and Baby Yoda. Um, all right, let's go on. I think Ahsoka, I'm gonna put it a B. Um, there are some really strong moments with acting. I think with Sabine and Ezra. I think Rosario Dawson really dropped the ball on being the main character. Um, but for the most part, it was fairly entertaining. It was certainly much more. It was certainly better paced and more exciting than Mandalorian. There were some really cool characters and really cool concepts in it that I thought were fun that kept me watching. I was more entertained than Mandalorian, though one could probably make the argument that the title character herself doesn't really make any good um, character progression, and there's no real story being told there. And that if it were called the Sabine Show, it would be very different. Like um, Book of Boba Fett. Let's put that as a D. That was a bunch of drivel. Um, there's some fun stuff here and there. But at the same time, so much wasted potential on exploring a character that could have been really great, and instead we don't really get anything out of Boba Fett, and we're bogged down with like mods and stuff like that, and a horrible battle scene at the end that was dreadful. Um, it was a real failure. Book of Boba Fett. Um, Solo, a Star Wars story. I'm gonna say it's an entertaining movie, well filmed, well acted. Um, Forgettable in the end, but I can't really point to anything wrong with the movie other than the gratuitous shoving in of Darth Maul at the end. Like it had an interesting villain and had good performances. I remember some exciting action sequences. It was kind of a standard forgettable action movie in the end, and I was fine with it, considering it was a completely unnecessary film delving into something we didn't really need to know about. I thought it was executed fine. I thought it was a fine movie. Um, I'm going to say the same about Rogue One. I may have to rewatch Rogue One. I've seen Rogue One twice, but like I loved Andor so much. I wonder if I'm missing something. Maybe I've misjudged Rogue One, and so I want to say well filmed, interesting acting performances. Um, some standout characters, especially her band of people and like the blind Jedi and stuff like that, and the droid. Um, I think in the end, perhaps it was just too disappointing because it was just everybody dies, and then we get some weird crammed in CGI, and it doesn't feel like a very satisfying story. I think that perhaps was the weakness of it. It was, and then what else we got? Let's do prequels.
I think that right.
Phantom
No,
Menace is
no.
here.
There it is. Yeah.
Phantom Menace gets a D. That's a pretty crappy movie. Too many farts. Jar Jar Binks. Boring politics. Um, little
Yeah.
kids. It's just not a good movie. Um, uh, I would say Attack of the Clones. I'm gonna put Attack of the Clones at a C. I know a lot of people think Attack of the Clones is the worst, but I think it's better paced and better acted and more original. I mean, everybody laughs at like the sand scene and things like that, but I think it. I think there's some things to like about it, um, but and I think Hayden Christensen's performance is fine. I think like we think about. I remember, for instance, the very emotional scene of him cutting down the sand people's like children and stuff like that, and the death of his mother. And I think those were fairly well done scenes, and made you feel the emotional turmoil of Anakin. I think there's things to like about Attack of the Clones, and I'd say like Revenge of the Sith, the strongest of the prequels. Do I put it as a B? I think it makes it to the B. I think it
Mm.
makes it to the B because the ending is a very good resolution. Order 66 is a pretty great sequence. Hayden Christensen falls into the role better. Um, it's I think there's more to like about it. Um, so I'm gonna put it that high, and then the sequel trilogy. Oh God. I'm gonna put Force Awakens at a C. There's a lot of potential for it, but it is well directed. It does have good performances, um, and uh, there's some interesting things that are brought forward in it, um, but it fundamentally is recycled, and the plot
Yeah.
is recycled, and so I think that is the biggest detriment is the fact that they are fighting a they're trying to destroy the Death Star. But there's some there I guess I liked the final meeting between Adam Driver and Harrison Ford, and I think there's some interesting, real gritty battles, some interesting things brought forward. Just none of them were eventually executed, unfortunately. Um, Rise of Skywalker, or not Rise of Skywalker. Let's go with The Last Jedi. Last Jedi is beautifully shot. There's some real great performances again. It is a hot mess. We've got Leia floating through space, and we've got the fucking casino scenes. Those are pretty bad. Uh, let's keep it as a C. I'm gonna be generous here. Gonna be generous. Um, and I appreciate the fact that Ryan Johnson was trying to do something different. I don't know if it necessarily landed, but I appreciate the risk. And then Rise of Skywalker is a fucking F. Like that's just fucking drivel. Like
Yeah.
it's just not like this is something where I'm looking at the Book of Boba Fett and being like, I mean, the Book of Boba Fett had a beginning and an end, and it made sense. Like it's not. It's just not a bunch of fucking random scenes like shoved in randomly. Um, like this is a movie where people in my theater were actively laughing at various points because things were so awkward and odd and shoved in and ridiculous. Like it's just
Oh, did you think the Ray Kylo kiss was awkward?
that's I
You
mean
should have.
the entire theater erupted in laughter. They were erupting laughter during like the snake thing too. Um, some weird, some weird stuff that was just cheesy and corny. Finding a knife and on and like finding stuff. I mean, it was just the whole thing from beginning to end was just ridiculous and dumb. Like it's just ridiculous. It was just it's not even a story. It's not even a story. It's just a bunch of random fucking shit that doesn't make any sense.
If
I
you
can't.
think that's bad, I just saw a video about like Colin Trevorrow's original episode 9, and there's a moment where Ray kisses Poe,
Yeah,
completely not deserved and just random out of the blue.
Poe was supposed to originally die in The Force Awakens.
Yeah, I'm so glad they didn't do that. I love Oscar Isaac, and
Yeah, I
Poe's
mean,
my favorite sequels.
I think like I say, if the rise of if the Last Jedi ended, imagine if the Last Jedi ended with Rey going off with Kylo Ren, and that was the ending. That man, Rise of Skywalker would be much higher, and then you would have had this fucking incredible movie of dealing with that resolution that she's dealing with that
Hmm.
problem that she's gone off. But the problem is like the the Last Jedi ends with most things resolved, except for the fact that there's like 10 people left in the rebellion. Um, but most of the conflicts are resolved. So I feel like I don't know. So this is my list. What's weird about it is that I don't have anything A.
Hmm.
Like there's nothing that I like really like, but I don't consider perfect. Like the things that I really like are fucking perfect, and I'm having them as S. And then all of the things that I like somewhat like, but understand that are fundamentally flawed, are in B. And then there's stuff that's like, it's fine. Stuff that's like I have major problems with, and then just I can't even like take seriously because it's just so fucking bad. Okay, so your turn. This
Do me a favor. So for S tier and F tier, keep all those in place. For B, C, and D, click on the gear icon and just clear row.
okay. Hopeful. Okay.
Clear
Clear
row
row
images.
images.
That's it. And go to
Okay, good.
yeah, no, because for the most part, yeah, when it comes to the S tiers, I agree with you 100% for the reasons you stated. Rise of Skywalker is there because it is not a satisfying conclusion to the series at all. It's just
I
I
mean,
still can't
it's
get
barely a
over.
functioning movie. It's just so bad. Yeah.
I still can't get over. They fly now. They fly now. It's just fucking lame. It's just so lame. Uh,
You live in a universe where like everything fucking flies. Like Boba Fett fly. Like Mandalorians fly. Like everybody fucking flies. They
yeah.
fly now.
Star Wars Rebels, do me a favor and put that on C. It's gonna go be on C because this is a children's television show. I watched all the episodes, and of course, there are some amazing episodes, but those are few and far in between. Most of it was mid, dude. Like the episode where Kenobi finally defeats Maul on Tatooine. That's
Yeah.
a great 5 minutes. The rest of
I've
the
watched
episode
that,
is
yeah.
Ezra and the rest of the episode is Ezra going, "Whoa, whoa!" Like it's just so it's dumb. It's really dumb. It's a C. Star Wars Resistance is the next one on that.
Well, wait, I have a quick question to ask. So
Uh,
you know how um the in Attack of the Clones when Jar Jar allows Palpatine to become um to become like emperor or whatever. Um
hmm.
and some people, I remember when it came out, people are like, "Oh, it kind of makes the Jar Jar character better because now I understand that he had to be a goofball in the first movie to end up being the one that does something so horribly dark and fuck up." Um, and I mean, I see that statement somewhat, and I guess that scene does a tiny bit redeem like Jar Jar, and and understanding like the whole character arc. But does Ahsoka change how you feel about Star Wars Rogues?
Always with the rogues. Does it change how I feel about Star Wars Rebels? I no, not really. No,
Okay, okay,
no.
okay.
Also, that's a bullshit argument for Jar Jar. No, Jar Jar still sucks. The only reason they gave him extra shit to do because they kind of wanted to redeem the character.
Right.
No, George Lucas is a
They,
fucking idiot
they,
with Jar
he
Jar. It's
need
just
he needed to suck for no. Well, yeah, that's the argument. I
Star
mean,
Wars Resistance is the next one on there. Put that on F tier. I saw some multiple episodes. It just fucking sucked. It was just too kiddie. Like it's just no.
okay.
Fuck that. Star Wars Clone Wars. Same thing with Rebels. I would put that S tier mostly because great episodes. No, I'm sorry. I'm not S. C tier. I'm
C
sorry.
tier.
C
Okay.
tier. Great, like a lot of good episodes, but remember, there's a lot of other episodes that are equally as bad, if not more bad. So it's a mixed bag. Um, the shorts segments, Tales of the Jedi, the next one on that, I would put that A tier. I actually quite enjoyed it. It's just the one thing I didn't enjoy was Ahsoka's like backstory of when she was a baby. I thought that was like kind of unnecessary, but everything else, all the other segments were perfect. It actually explains what happened to Yaddle,
Hmm.
that Count Dooku, his fall to the dark side is tied to him like killing her at the Emperor's behest. So
Oh.
that's it answers those questions. The next one, Bad Batch, I would also put that C tier. Once again, actually, you know what? Put that D tier because at least Rebels and Clone Wars had more episodes that are great over Bad Batch. Bad Batch has a lot of episodes that are just very mid and very few episodes that are good.
Huh.
So, uh, the next one, Star Wars Clone Wars from 2001. Put that bitch S tier. Oh my
I've
god,
seen it.
it's
Yeah.
so good.
I mean, it's really
Oof.
incredible, like animation and pacing. They're also very short, but they're just kind of very
Mm-hmm.
interesting to watch each one.
It's just phenomenal. Um, Mando season one. I actually really enjoyed it, but I would put that B tier because you're
That was
right.
the same
A
as
lot of
me. Yeah.
these
Yeah.
yes, they're very decent episodes, pretty good, very entertaining. But I think I would put Mando season two, S tier. No, what? No,
Wow.
no, put it A tier. Well, I put it A tier because
Be-
almost every single episode, with the exception of episode two, almost every single episode was great. It's just I don't know. There's something about Mando season two that keeps it from being like perfect 10 out of 10. It's a 9 out of 10.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Um, Ahsoka goes into my B tier because the last two episodes really fuck it. Penultimate episode is
Yeah.
just very mid, and they're too busy doing a next time on Ahsoka for
Right.
season two, for setting up season two. Mm, you don't get
They're
points for
too
that.
busy selling you a sandwich tomorrow than to give you your sandwich today. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Book of Boba Fett. I would put that bitch in D tier. Fuck Book of Boba Fett. The first two episodes are great. Everything else fucking blue dick. Kenobi also D tier because of how
Ooh.
much it wastes.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. I'll
Okay.
tell you why. Do you remember the scene where Vader's on the scene for the first time ever?
I
And
do.
he chokes that guy out, kills the kid in front of his parents. Like, whoa, this is Vader. Like, yo, this is the guy we've been waiting for. We've been wanting to see him. And it tracks with his appearance in Rogue One. Like, he's just kicking ass. And then he fights Kenobi and mops the floor with Kenobi. And then, like, fire stops him from carrying out his vengeance.
Right. Really, silly things like that. Yeah.
Like little things like that, like the kidnappers chasing Leia was dumb. I hate how lightsabers mean dick in Disney Star Wars area, specifically when Kenobi. Reva stabs the Grand Inquisitor, and then she's stabbed a second time by the same guy, like years apart. Like, are you fucking serious right now? It's just lightsabers mean nothing in this fucking thing. And then Obi-Wan's pulling off some anime moves to destroy Vader, which was so dumb. But then you didn't kill Anakin. I did. Great line, but what the fuck was everything that came before? Like, that was just kind of silly and goofy. I just wasn't a
Yeah.
fan.
Uh, mm.
Mando season three goes to D tier. Waste of time.
Oh. Wow. Okay.
Dude, that was the Bo-Katan show. You didn't think it was a waste of time? That was a waste of motherfucking time.
No, it was, and that final episode was a ridiculous like mess. Like I would say that the final episode with that battle was like was Rise of Skywalker mess. But I remember the other episodes leading up to it being, I guess, comprehensive. Or I understood what was going on. Like I was somewhat interested and engaged. It just, I don't know, it didn't go anywhere. But yeah, I can see pushing it to D. Yeah.
Mando season 3 shouldn't have even had Din Djarin. It should have just been Bo-Katan, and they should have cut several episodes short. You did have that one cool episode that had no Mandalorian. It was just the doctor guy
Yeah.
from season 1 Mando. That was pretty cool, but
Yeah, that one
I feel like it
episode
was a
was all right. Yeah. It was interesting.
gigantic waste of time for me.
Remember I remember texting you like Mando once tried to do an Andor episode.
Yeah. Put Rogue One B tier. I actually quite enjoyed Rogue One. It's just I felt as though it had too many cooks. Like that pilot guy did not need to be there.
Yeah.
We could have like fleshed out the other characters way more. There's just too many characters.
Too many characters.
As for Return of the Jedi, I would put that
Well, where do you want to put Solo?
Solo. C tier. It's fine.
Yeah. Just kind of forgettable.
Return of the Jedi. I would put. You're gonna hate this.
Oh.
Return of the Jedi B tier because I grew up with it and I just really like. I don't really like it over the other ones, but I like it enough to where I don't know, that nostalgia is really kicking me in the ass with Return of the Jedi.
Mm.
It just really is, and just fuck the sequence where the shield generator is down. Commence the attack on the Death Star's radar. And just so much cool. And the Jabba stuff was cool. I don't know. I really liked it. The Ewoks do suck. I agree there, but fuck, man. Like everything is just so good. Like,
I mean, like I say,
do it.
I could do a 4-hour video on how much twice as long as Return of the Jedi itself. Like on how much like the movie frustrates me. Like, honestly, Han putting on a helmet and convincing the Imperials to lower their shields, like, that would never work. Like, anyway.
Yeah. An entire legion of my best troops are that really your best troops. Phantom Menace D. Just it's not bad. It's not just Phantom. Yeah, on the very edge. It's not. Rise of Skywalker is worse. Attack of the Clones. I would put high C. Just high C. It's fine. Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, B tier. 100% Revenge of the Sith. B tier. By the way, Rise of Skywalker is the blue one with Rey. No, on the bottom. Yeah, I would put no. Wait, hold on.
No, I put this. I put the Rise of Skywalker is already in place at F. So this is Force Awakens.
No. That's Force Awakens on F.
What? Really?
Yeah, I don't want to say anything.
Fuck. Oh God. Well,
you were on a roll.
Christ.
I don't want to say anything. Anything. You're on a roll.
It's hard to tell when it's just like Rey and a Kylo Ren mask and some lightsabers.
Yeah.
Fuck the fucking posters.
Force Awakens, I would put D tier, and you get no points for recreating a soft reboot of the original trilogy.
Yeah.
You get no points for that in my book. I would also put Last Jedi D tier. It wasn't bad, but not really a Star Wars film, in my opinion. Lots to like about it, but a lot to dislike. That's basically where I stand.
Yeah.
Basically where I stand.
It's funny because I realize the difference between you and me is like, when something doesn't work for you, you really sink it, and when something works for you, you elevate it. Well, I kind of like tend to put a lot of stuff in the middle category. Like the fact that you're just like, no, that's like so horrible, it drops to D, or like, no, I love it so much, so it rises so much. I think I think we fundamentally agree on a lot of the same things. It's just that there's a little bit more when things go right, you really like it. When things go wrong, you really hate it.
It's also the problem with a lot of the shows, specifically like the shows that go on for 20 episodes a season, like Rebels and Bad Batch and so on and so forth. 20 episodes, 3 of which are very good, and the rest is just like
It's filler.
killing
It's kitty
time.
filler. Like the yeah. I mean, it's
Yeah,
amazing that you like almost all of the animated stuff, at least the long form animation, you're like mid and forgettable. And yet you watched it all. Because it
I
is,
didn't remember
these
that.
are kids shows. Like the baby they're toy commercials, Um so
Like I know people are gonna get on my dick for putting Clone Wars, the 2007 CGI anime cartoon, in C tier. Every season there are great episodes, but there's like so few. Like the Mortis arc was fucking awesome. Darth Maul taking over Mandalore and killing Obi-Wan's girlfriend in front of him, fucking sick. Palpatine versus Maul and Savage Opress, which is a stupid name.
yeah,
That
yeah.
was a cool episode. Like lots of great episodes. Like the one where the clone, his chip malfunctions and they activate Order 66 in his head prematurely. That was a whole cool arc. Lots to like, but then you have a lot of episodes that are forgettable and mid. One episode, by the way, I'll recommend to you
Hmm.
is General Pong Krell. Stupid name. He's a Jedi Master with or Jedi Knight with like 4 arms, and he's secretly working against the clones, but he's leading them into battle, and he's purposely giving them awful instructions and directions, getting them killed. So the clones have to figure out like, how do we mutiny against this guy? Do we mutiny? What do we do? Do we just hold out until someone else comes? Great arc. Lots of cool stuff like that, but a lot of it is forgettable. You don't get points for being forgettable in my book. And
Hmm.
that's why Mando season 3 is there as well. A lot of the episodes are fucking forgettable. Or if they were memorable, not for good reasons.
Fair enough. Huh. Oh, all right.
That's where we
Man.
stand on that. By the way, real quick, did you want to I shouldn't be rocking the boat this way, but like I said, I don't have a problem with Star Wars theory. I'm sure he's a very nice guy, but holy shit, man, his tier list, do you want to like
No,
check that out
no.
real quick and you don't want to see it? Okay.
Does he have it? It's on Twitter? What?
No, it's on like it's like YouTube, but you can always like fast forward to the end and see where he puts everything. He for the most part he kind of agrees with us. It's just the most egregious thing he does is put Andor on C tier. And the sad part is, uh,
This is the
the sad
ranking.
part is
No, this is
the
the
sad
ranking of
part is
characters.
no, it just he does a tier list of the shows.
Oh,
So just put
sorry.
Star Wars theory tier list.
Mhm. It's been doing a lot of these tier list stuff, so got to find the
They're
right
fun.
one. Here we go. Every Star Wars show from beginning to worst. Okay. All right, so we can go to the end.
Hmm.
Okay, so he has
You're gonna have to, my love. You're gonna have to like gear icon that and like 1080p that.
what do
No,
what?
no, no, no. Gear icon on the video. You see the video gear icon? Yeah, 1080p. It's only at 720. Wow. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Oh, okay, okay. I see what you're saying.
So it's more clear. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's fine.
So he has on here,
I had a D
like yeah,
or
like
an F, even if there is that option. I want you
I
guys to
fucked
know
up
that
here.
I
Hold on
always
a
respect
second.
you guys' opinions no matter what.
Let's try
And I
to get
encourage your
him.
opinions. Just be nice.
All right, so he has um he has Clone Wars, Tales of the Jedi, and Clone Wars as S tier. He really loves the fucking animation. He loves the fucking
he
Clone
does.
Wars.
He
He's
also he's the same age as me, around the same age as me. So we grew up with the same things. It's
yeah.
just he's really got that nostalgia boner.
He has Mando season 2 at A tier, and then
Hmm.
he really likes the animation, Rebels, Bad Batch in B tier. He liked Ahsoka. He liked Ahsoka all right. He didn't like
Soka's nostalgia.
Andor. I see what you're saying. Attached to the Rebels. Um, and then he didn't like Boba Fett or Obi-Wan. And then what's this in the bottom?
It's resistance. I saw that. I gave it F tier. Go to his comment section real quick. So many people are just like respectfully disagreeing with him on
In my opinion,
Andor.
Andor not being the most Star Wars is to its benefit. I agree with everything, but Andor is arguably the best Star Wars show ever made. It's a masterpiece.
See what I mean?
Andor
Like
is
this is
easily
just
the best show for me. Not even the biggest fan of Andor, but putting it on the same level as Mando season 3 is insane. Andor is incredible. Andor is such a surprise to me with just how good it was. Wow. It's just one comment after the other of like,
sort by new. Like let me see if anyone is like
oh
still
my God. Like
continuing.
it's everyone is like, no, you're wrong about Andor. Preston is lame. Okay, great.
No, I had to
Andor
put that
at
in
C
there.
tier should be a felony. That's funny. That's funny. Oh
Yeah.
well. Everyone has their opinions. It's fine. I mean, if you didn't like it, you didn't like it. You know, not everybody's gonna like everything. So
It's just what I don't like is the mental gymnastics people will do to like take away how good it is. Like for example, I was at a friend's house and I was picking up something up and his kid was watching Bluey, and it was the episode of Bluey where Bluey's father is trying to bake a cake or shape a cake for Bluey's. Is Bluey a boy or a girl?
they're both girls. Both Bluey and
Okay,
Bingo are girls. His two
so
daughters.
Bingo wants a cake for her birthday, and Bluey has to pick up her toys. Like it was a fine children's show. It was fine, better than Caillou, of course. But
Yeah.
here's what I'm trying to say. I'm not going to say Bluey sucks because I don't get it. Like just because I don't like something or it's not made for me doesn't mean I'm going to say it fucking sucks. It's just not for me, and that's fine. But
Yeah.
instead of doing that, he goes out of his way to say on social media like it's just not Star Wars. It's not Star Wars. It's not about the Jedi or the Sith. It's
Right.
just
Right.
so and so forth. Like, all right,
I
dude.
mean, you're wrong about Bluey. Bluey, if you're talking about like good episodes versus average episodes, like the Bluey season is like 50 episodes and they're all 8 minutes. And like a
Hmm.
majority are like 9 out of 10s.
Really? Hmm.
Oh yeah. Like Bluey is insane. Like, and when they hit, you're just like, oh, that was a fucking good episode. Like, and keep in mind, I'm not even watching it with the Australian act. Like, I'm watching it in Chinese, like, because I've
Oh.
convinced my kid that it's only in Chinese, um, which makes him not want to watch it as much as other stuff. But like, I've convinced him that certain shows are only in Chinese. But I'm not even like getting all of like the double entendres or the funny Australian accents. I'm just like, but it's they're really fucking good. They're really fucking good. Like some of them are really fucking good. Yeah.
Keep it once again. I feel like I really need to reiterate this. I'm not trying to rip on theory, but remember, he said one of the reasons why he didn't feel like Star Wars Andor was Star Wars was because it had bricks and screws, and
Yeah.
he called it a forgettable show. I'm not trying to rip on the guy
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
hate him. I don't. It's just like those are some mental gymnastics to
Sure.
to
Sure.
to try
I
to
just
solidify
fucking I
why you don't like
fucking
something.
I want to describe one Bluey episode and
Hmm.
like why it's so fucking good. So like there's a Bluey episode where Bingo is going to her friends' birthday parties and they're playing this game called Pass the Parcel where they wrap up the parcel and they play. It's kind of like musical chairs, and then it stops on somebody, and they get the gift, but then they open the wrapper. They open the wrapping paper, and if there's another wrapping paper underneath, it keeps going. So you don't
Hmm.
know how many wrapping papers are until the toy, and you don't know with the music who stops. And so the first time they play it, um, like all the kids start crying and start screaming and the dad is like, oh no, oh, and then all the parents are like, what are you doing, why are all the kids crying? And it's hilarious. But then the kids get the rules and they start playing Past the Parcel, and Bingo just keeps losing every time. Like she goes to like, and it's just one after the other. Like she's getting disappointed, she's getting disappointed, she's getting disappointed. And you think that like Bingo is going to uh like eventually just getting sadder and sadder that she's never getting a toy. But instead, she starts seeing all of her friends becoming happy, and she's just like, "No, it's really great. That was great because like my friend like got it instead, you know." And you know, our parents are like really impressed with Bingo, and you're like, "Oh, that's great," you know. And then they're playing Past the Parcel finally at Bluey's birthday, and it lands and Bingo finally wins, and she's just like, yeah, and like and then that like ends the episode, and it's just like such a perfect like and perfectly timed with all the music and every like the timing, like they're pulling at your heartstrings, like just being like, oh, she's becoming a good person, and she's understanding that like it's not about who wins, it's about like other people like appreciating other people's happiness, and then at the end it's like, nah, I won, like all of that was kind of bull. Like she just wanted to win too, and it just I don't know. It's just the fact that whole like there could be so many cool twists and turns and everything in like a 7 to 8 minute show is just very impressive. But I don't know. Ah well, probably why you like the Star Wars Clone Wars stuff so much.
Is because what? It's a short segment.
Short and sweet, and where they're because when something's short, you're really focusing on the beginning and the end and making a good story, because that's all there is like this
To
short little thing.
to anyone who likes Star Wars, even just a little bit, like you're not a diehard fan, you don't fucking know like Glarbar the Hutt or whoever the fuck. Like to anyone who's a fucking Star Wars, just who likes it in passing, watch the 2001 short segment. Zorba the Hutt. You got fucking good Zorba the Hutt. Watch the 2001 short segment Star Wars Clone Wars stuff, because there's almost no dialogue and it doesn't need it. It's like 5 minutes of like just awesome stuff. It doesn't even need it.
Yeah, you Zorba the Hutt's Revenge.
Zorba the They always anything Hutt related. It's always Leia. So they always put her front and center.
Yeah. All right,
Preston,
man.
do you mind if we wrap it up here?
Sounds
I was
good.
about to say. I feel like we've gone on so long. Guys, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time. Have a good one.
All right, bye.